Well, guys, I was working on the 4455 and I decided to quit and start working on the truck. I got a rear main seal. Want to get going on this. This is the one we're doing the transmission on, but it's a good idea to put a rear main seal in, especially with the Detroit, and I'll show you why here in a minute. I got the flywheel resurfaced. It's in the back of the truck. I got a new clutch back there for it. I've never put a rear seal in one of these Detroits before, so I had to go up. I've got tons of toolboxes full of rear seal installers. I was sitting there just thinking about it. I've got the Cat 3406, the remover and installer for the rear. I don't think I have the front. I've got the front and the rear for the ISXs. I've got the front and the rears for the old 855 blocks. I've got them for the Duramax. I've got them for the 5.9, the 6.7. I've got them for multiple John Deeres, but long story short, I never have the tool that I want. I don't have the Detroit one. So I went up there, and my buddy Chris works for a big fuel hauling outfit up there, and they have a whole fleet of these, and he's pretty much the local expert, as far as I know, on the Detroits. He works on a ton of them, and he had the installer, and so he kindly let me borrow it, and he gave me another tool too that I have to figure out exactly where he was talking about. Oh, right there. That's where he was talking about. I think he was talking about this little plug right here. You remove this plug on the bell housing with that tool that he was talking about, and that bolts on there and turns the flywheel over and bars the engine over. Okay. Got this all cleaned up. What they're doing here on this setup, guys, is they're using the flywheel itself as the sealing surface for the seal. It's kind of not really much of a seal, but it wasn't leaking. The bell housing was pretty much dry, so it must work. Okay, let's see if we can figure this setup here out, huh? Obviously that's going to go in a couple bolt holes there. Okay, like that. How come it's not threading in there? You would think that would... What am I doing wrong here? Oh, that's what I'm doing wrong. I gotta back this out. Now I should be able to thread these in there. You gotta be smarter than the tool, I guess there, moron, huh? I'll keep backing this out. I'll just probably thread these in as far as they'll go. That's what I'm thinking. Just wouldn't really even think you need a wrench. I'm gonna get a wrench for this part to pull it in, but oh, what am I doing here? That one's gone as far as it can go. That one's gone as far as it can go. Okay, so how does this work here? What does the center bolt do? Not sure what the center bolt does. When you just tighten that up like that and shove that in, what's the center bolt? Is it left-handed thread? What the hell's the deal with that? Is that a spare bolt for one of these? That must be a spare. What the hell is the deal with that? No? Does that pull it back off? No, for sure. For now, it looks like to me, just crank this in. Let me go get a wrench. kind of thinking that's part of the, I'm thinking that center bolt is for removing it or something, I'm thinking. That plate has threaded holes in it. And I think you maybe, I don't know if you thread something. I don't know for sure. I'd have to read a book on that, or for now, looks like to me we just need to go like this. And push the seal in there. Okay, make sure it's not screwing something up. Kind of going in a little further at the bottom than it is at the top. That means it's not exactly straight as I would like it to be. Man, I don't like that. You'd think it would be a little bit, go in a little more square. Yeah, it's going in. To me, it looks like it's going in more at the bottom than it is at the top. Come on. Will that thread in there now? Huh. Oh, that's kind of weird. I don't know. I'm as familiar with the tools I am on a Cummins, you would think that these bolts would bottom out and everything would go in flush and square. Okay, now that one's bottomed out. Okay, we're looking like, okay, I think that was my issue. I think I wasn't square on that part. I mean, is the seal going to go so far? And, you know, I don't know what, you go in flush, or most seal installers go in until the seal stops and the tool bottoms out. That's the way most of them work. And that's what this one's doing. Okay, so I think we got her. And there's that center bolt. Must be for removal, and it shove it, and it comes up again and shoves it off or something. I'm not real certain about that whole deal, to be honest with you. New tool for me, new engine. You guys know I work on a lot of Cummins and a lot of cats. I used to work on a lot of cats. I don't work on a lot of cats anymore. They're just beings in the Northwest where we are, and how most of them are outlawed. You just don't see very many of them anymore. Oops. Darn it. Little thrust washer type setup fell off of there. Well, that looks like it did the job that it was supposed to do. The seal's not distorted. It's in square all the way around it. I like it. I like nice tools like this. So let's back this way off. Let's put his thrust washers back on the tool where they belong. This tool's got a couple little drive slots right there, and then those are obviously going to go right there. And this has got a knurled side to it, and you can tell it was up against here. All right. Interesting. All right, I found a little bit. Only got one can, so I had that full can in there, and I thought, well, that'll be enough for the day. And then you get down here, and then the can don't squirt. I might have to stick something down in there. Maybe it's plugged up, or I don't know if the whatever makes them squirt out. If I don't know if they have CO2 in them that pressures. I'm not really sure how that works, but maybe it doesn't have anything to pressurize it. So now we need to get the pilot bearing out of there. And I don't have any bolts. Man, this is where guide studs would be really nice for this, but I don't have anything with those fine threaded metric threads on there. Yeah, I don't have nothing of the sort. Let's see if I can find a pilot bearing. Hopefully there's one in here. Probably not. I'll have to go looking for one of them. There's the clutch brake spacer. No pilot bearing. Okay, good deal. Great. Okay. Well, I wanted a clutch brake and a pilot bearing, and I got a clutch brake, but I did not get a pilot bearing. But I should have some laying in the parts room. Let me go see if I can find them. Alright, I was fortunate enough to find a new one in the parts room. Alright, let's go put it on. I'm going to have to get some heel bars. There's a dowel to line it up with a dowel. Okay. Alright, so let me get situated here. Okay, so where is the dowel hole on this? Right here. Right there. Okay. Looks like it's about maybe 10:30. Which, let me see if I can get this thing halfway close to where maybe that's at. Okay, yeah, guide studs would be a tremendous help on this one. And I do not have anything with that kind of thread on it. And what you need to understand is I am 35 miles away from town, so it's not going to happen. I'm wondering if I ought to look, and maybe I wonder if I got any bolts laying around with that thread on them I could cut the heads off of. I better look. I'm just scared to death that I'm going to screw up this seal. I'm going to go look around. I'm scared to death I'm going to screw that seal up. Well, we got it on there with some heel bars. We got it lined up and slid it straight back. Hopefully it's good enough. The next one of these I do, I'm going to find some guide studs with that size thread. And then you torque them. I torqued it to 150 foot-pounds plus 90 degrees. And I got a clutch bolt here in the flywheel. And then I got a bolt to the chain into the bell housing to hold it still when I'm torquing it. And I've got it all torqued down. So 150 pounds plus 90 degrees. That's why I got all the marks all over it there. So let me back one off to, I don't really need this on. I don't know why I did that. I just got to back it off a little bit so I can get my chain off. And then we'll dry it up with some brake clean, and we're not going to put the clutch on. We'll put the clutch on the transmission and put the whole thing in with the jack when we do it. I've showed a couple people that trick now because I learned it off another guy from YouTube. There's actually one of my guys in the comment section that said, hey, do it like this. And I'll tell you what, man, the buddy I borrowed this rear seal installer from up there, I told him, you know, I learned it from somewhere else, and then I told him, and he says, man, the guy who thought of that, I can tell you what he said, but anyways, he said it was a good thing. Get it all dried up. Okay, he's supposed to be on his way down here with transmission parts, but I can get the counter shafts disassembled and get the gears off of them. So let's go start doing that. Okay guys, so I got one shaft done. What you do, and I'm going to show you here shortly, is you want to start out here. Okay, this gear, which is, okay, so this would be your drive gear. Actually, this would be the actual drive gears on the main shaft, but this is the driven gear. This is your PTO gear. This is third, which is, or wait, what am I thinking? Yeah, is that third? That'd be, no, it'd be overdrive. This is overdrive. This would be direct. This is second. So basically, you want to put your, when you're pressing, you're going to press these three gears off at one time. Okay, and I actually had to use heat. I had to use heat on this one here. As you can see, this gear's got 3 teeth missing off of it. This is the one I put heat on, and I probably had about 20-30 tons of pressure on it, and it went bang. The owner of the truck was standing here, scared the shit out of him. But we're gonna go over there and press on this one now, and then we'll be done with the counter shafts, with the exception of cleaning all the shit off of them. This transmission, I pulled it out a couple years ago, and I laid it by the shop. I was in a hurry as usual to go to another job, and I'd swapped transmissions out for him. He had another one that we stuck in there for it to replace it with. Anyhow, my renter, he's a good guy, but he just kind of had his head up his ass. He was over there, and I seen he had the sprinkler going. You know, he loves irrigating our lawn and stuff, which is fine. And I said, oh shit, Steve, the shift bar housing's open on that. Don't irrigate that. You're filling my transmission full of water. We're going to rebuild that thing anyway. So it's got leaves and crap that blew in there that was my fault. I should have covered it up, but we'll take the solvent blower and clean all this up. We're going to be changing this gear. That's the only gear we got left. I changed these two here. Now we're going to change this one. I think this drive gear was fine. The other drive gear had like one tooth out of it or something, or 3 teeth out of it. This one here was fine. Oh, that's like really like fucking smart. So you'll probably wonder why the porter power's sitting down there. It's actually to brace the legs, because I've put so much tension on this thing before that it bowed it here. So it's actually bracing that. I needed to get a new press. I actually called on one the other day and found a 50-ton one, and they didn't have it in stock. It was a good deal on it. They didn't have it in stock. Okay, so here we go. It's time to get Western. We'll put a bunch of tension on it and see what happens. When it doesn't want to go, and I think it should go, we'll start putting heat on it. It's probably going to go bang! We got a lot of tension on it right now. So now what we're going to do is take this cutting torch and start heating it until it pops. Once you get it broke loose, they usually come out all right. It's not popping as easy as the other one did. It's actually, it did pop, but I think it's coming off. Yeah, it's coming. It's coming, but this one didn't pop. The other one went bang! So this one kind of threw me off a little bit. Must have came past because it's getting easier now. That'd be nice to have one of them air over hydraulic ones and just push a foot pedal. Oh well, nothing's ever came easy for me. I'm going to have to get down here where I can catch the shaft so it doesn't hit the porta power and damage everything more than it already is. My knee here, both of these are loose, so they're just about there. Oh, we're there. Alright. Okay. So, if you wanted to keep going, these two gears here will come off. Reverse and low are integral with the shaft. Okay. So, what I like to do on these, just so there's no confusion, I'll usually take them and kind of leave them stacked up because some of these gears have offsets on them. This gear has an offset. It's going to go towards the PTO gear, like so. So I'll lay it down the way it would come off. That way, just when I put the new gear on, I know which way it faces. This one here, see, has what they call it like a bullet nose or something like that. It's got tapered teeth on it, and they go up towards low reverse. That PTO gear will be reused. This is the gear we're changing here. And see how this one here has an offset to it right here? That goes, when we go back together, it's actually going to go, you know, because we're going to have the shaft the other way, but that's going down like that. But I'll just have to go get the new gear and we'll start putting them on. And see, when you go back together, you can put one gear on at a time. Well, what I like to do, the PTO gear is so narrow that I don't like to press solely on those out here because it'll break the gear. So what I like to do is press overdrive on. It's a big heavy gear. And you can get your, you know, you can get out here with your plates and then push it on all the way and seat it up against second gear. And then take this one and get it started on the shaft, and what I do is you can press it on a little ways. I'll get it on about that far to where I can get the last drive gear keyed, and then once I get that one keyed on there, then I can press them both on at one time. All right, so here we go, last gear, and we'll press kind of the PTO and the direct gear on at the same time. Trying to keep it in the keyway when you flop it over. Shine my light in there so I can make sure that I'm not gonna, the shaft isn't gonna come through and hit one of the plates. It should be all right. And the whole thing is then the hub on this gear is actually up against the hub on this gear, and it's more support. So you don't take near the chance of it breaking as you did just pressing on that thin gear. That's the whole thing with the PTO gear. Pump in here. And basically, you're just going to press it on until it seats, and then you're done. Kind of got a late start today. I didn't get near much done as I wanted to, but was fetching parts till damn near 11 o'clock. All right, here we go. And it's kind of nice, I guess, sometimes having an old hand press like this with a pump, because you can feel when there's something wrong, as opposed to a air over hydraulic one where you just start pushing on it and you go bang. Well, shit, that gear broke. You know, I don't know. I guess that's one benefit, but on the other hand, it takes forever. I think we're just about there. I'll go ahead and mash it down pretty tight. Make sure I'm seated. All right. We'll put the snap ring on it. She'll be ready to put back in there. When I get it cleaned up, I gotta take the solvent blower and clean it all up. Okay, on the main shaft, you gotta really pay attention to what you're doing here. Okay, we're after this gear down here, the drive gear. So the keyway goes in this spline right here. And there's a roll pin in the shaft crossways that keeps the key from going clear down. So take your, I got a knife here and I'm just gonna go like that. Most of the time you can just pull the key out, okay? Rotate the washer, then slide it off. That keeps that washer from rotating is all that does. And then I'm gonna lay it down just like it come out. And this is gonna be, the one up here was reversed. This is gonna be first, actually sliding clutch, What's that sliding clutch look like? It looks pretty damn good. So I'm gonna lay that there like that, lay that like that. And then I'm gonna take, let's see, I gotta rotate this. That'll come out, and the washer's actually inside here. You can actually pull it out. We're gonna leave it be. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm just kind of stacking stuff up like it come out of there. So it goes back in the same way. Same song and dance. And this washer here is a little different looking. And there's another selective washer in here. Sliding clutch. That looks really good. And then this is going to be this is the drive. This has got to be overdrive. And then our damaged gear. Okay. Twist this one back. Okay. As you can see, this is where your input shaft, yours is where your input shaft goes in, right here. So we're going to get rid of that piece of shit. And put her back together now. Stand her on this flat part of the anvil device. For now, until I get that one gear. You want to get this one, I'm going to take this washer off. Clean it up a little bit. Like that. Alright, so I got the washer on here. So what you're doing, you're clocking that washer in there to where it sits on the splines. The splines actually line up. You got to be careful here. They tell you to take a piece of plastic and shove it and jam it in that first washer to hold it, but I don't have a piece of plastic right now, so that's the way that is. Okay, clutching teeth up. Take this little screwdriver and hopefully that turns and lines up like that. Clutch collar, sliding clutch, like so. Alright. Where am I at now? This here's got to go on next. I better get the book out. So I did that, and I got okay with main shaft pilot end down, blah 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 blah. Let's go down. Clutching teeth down. So all fourth gear. That would be this one. Okay, so flat washer, rotates washer. Yeah, we did that. Okay, with clutching teeth up, install third gear, which is what we did. Install the third gear, position offset washer, did that. Okay, in with the missing internal splines aligned with the plastic line, which I don't have. that would be lined up with this keyway. But what a guy can do is temporarily just stick his keyway back in there and get everything lined up. We've got a paint mark on it, and everything is lining up the wall, I think. Okay, we're clear down against the roll pin, so it's... Why is this not locking? Cut my frickin' finger off. So we're all lined up there. And you can't cheat on these, and this keyway, this key actually holds everything in place. Man, come on. It came out of there so easy before, now it's gonna fight me. Piece of plastic. I need to get a piece of plastic if I'm gonna start doing these again, I guess. Get it up here high enough where I can get a hold of it. I just was trying to line everything up, and okay. With missing internal splines aligned with the plastic line, install the proper sliding clutch. Okay, the sliding clutch is in there already. Man, I don't know how I got that lucky. I must have really got lucky there. I got really lucky that I got lucky. I didn't even pay attention to that. The missing internal spline. Somehow I got it on there. What a stroke of luck that was. Okay. Position the next offset washer in the next available groove. So that would be this one here. Okay. I'm pretty sure the flat side is going to go up. Like that. And then take, with clutching teeth down, position the second gear on the main shaft. Okay. Position the flat washer against the gear like this. And it's not going. Being a son of a bitch for some reason. There it goes. Okay. So we did that. Yeah, alright. So then install the first gear on the shaft. Again, previously installed gear. Of course, the clutching teeth are going to be up. Didn't really want to drop it like that. But... And then, of course, your spline washer and the flat surface is going to go against the gear. Hopefully this one will turn in there. There we go. Alright, that should be it, with the exception of the sliding clutch. Alright, so clutching teeth up, so the first gear on the shaft, yeah. Position the offset washer flat, surface down against the gear, rotate washer until the spline shafts, we did that. From the main shaft rear, install the main shaft key into the spline in the airline with the airline. Pull the airline from the spline while installing the key. Install the snap ring in the main shaft groove. Install the reverse sliding clutch. Well, we're not going to do that. It's easier to put all that back in there when you put the clutch in. I'm trying to remember this one here. This was on the shaft. Oh, the missing spline. Yeah, we got to get the missing spline lined up with the keyway. Like so. Okay. Keyway. We're not lying. Alright, well, we have a problem. Pull that one back off. See where we're not lining up right at. Okay, it'd be the next one down is not. You son of a bitch. Fucking grease. Oil had it stuck to the next one. There we go. Okay. I got that one to line up. Being a little bit of a dickhead. We'll get her. Probably shouldn't put that in my mouth. Alright, let's try this again. Come on, fucker. What'd it do? Turn my other washer again on me? Son of a bitch. That's what's happening. It's when I'm putting the one gear on there, it's turning the one. Being a prick. Just being a real prick, you know. Try to lay it down there, straight down, I guess. Now let's see if we can get it to line up here. Okay, it's lining up there. Flat way down. Now everything's lining up. Okay. Missing keyway goes right there. What I'm going to do is shove my key down in there and then rotate my gear to let the sliding clutch fall in there. Now I won't disturb that. Okay. Here's our keyway. We're going to shove her on down, make sure all that stuff stays in alignment. Just like that. Okay, so that's all good to go. This one washer's got to go on there though. Sorry, it's just been a long time since I've done one of these. I'm not as proficient as I used to be with these. I got to look to see which way this one, the gear's going to go down against it, so it's got to go like that, I'm thinking. So, alright, flat surface down. Okay, so that's first gear. Position the offset washer flat surface down against the gear. Rotate the shaft now. From main shaft rear, install the main shaft key into the spline with the air line. Pull the air line from the bottom. Install the snap ring in the main shaft groove. So first, doesn't make any sense really. Alright, so I pretty much got the main shaft set up. You don't have to put this, I'll probably pop this snap ring back out of here, that way it's easier to get the main shaft in when reverse is up against first. Just butter clear up against it, but I just, for assembly purposes, just to keep track of stuff. If I can get hold my mouth just right. Let me take this washer here and, you know, they don't say, I'm going to put the flat side there, that's what I'm going to do. This is the spacer washer. Okay, and then this kit over here, see this sliding clutch here? This was on between, this sliding clutch here is pretty worn out bad. It's pretty well junk. I've got one in the kit back here. Got a pretty nice kit from Eaton. I need to go put it up here, sit on the ground, but I was just checking it out. There's a brand new, where's it at? Right there. There's a brand new sliding clutch right there. So we'll put that on the pilot in between direct, and that'll take care of that. We could probably just go ahead and do that right now. And then tomorrow's another day. I'm going to come in, get this case all cleaned up. Golly, I got so many things I got to get done here. Let's take the main shaft over here. This gear's going to fall off. I already know it is, so I'll just lay her on her side for now. So the main shaft and the counter shafts are pretty much rebuilt. Here's our new sliding clutch. Basically take the missing spline that's in it and align it with the roll pin and keyway. Okay. Let's see if I can get things to, there we go.